6 figures. For decades, that number was the golden ticket. It was the finish line. It meant you had made it. It meant the white picket fence, the German car, the 2 vacations a year, and a retirement account that grew while you slept. But today, you hit that $100,000 milestone, you pop the champagne, you look at your checking account, and you feel like you're suffocating. You aren't crazy, you aren't just bad with money, and you certainly aren't alone. The math has changed. The rules of the game have been rewritten while you were busy working, and nobody sent you the memo. Today, I'm going to tear down the financial illusions keeping you poor. I'm going to show you exactly how inflation, the tax code, and the asset bubble are conspiring to keep you on the hamster wheel. But more importantly, I'm going to show you how to break the cycle. Most people will stay broke making 6 figures forever. You're about to learn how the game is actually played. The ghost of money past. Let's start with the cold, hard numbers. You have to understand that money is just a measuring stick, and unfortunately, the stick has shrunk. If you made $100,000 back in 1995, you were rich. You were the king of the neighborhood. Adjusted for inflation, that is the equivalent of making about $205,000 today. Read that again in your head. To live the lifestyle of a 1995 6-figure earner, you need to be making over 200 grand right now. If you are making $100,000 today, in terms of purchasing power compared to 30 years ago, you are making about $48,000. You are technically middle class in title, but you feel working class in reality. Why? Because the big 3 expenses, housing, education, and healthcare, have exploded way faster than the official inflation numbers tell you. The government tells you inflation is 3% or 4%. That's a basket of goods that includes cheap TVs and cell phone plans. It doesn't count the things you actually need to survive. Since 2000, overall inflation is up maybe 80%. But college tuition? Up 180%. Hospital services? Up 200%. Housing prices in major cities? In some places, up 300% or 400%. So, your salary went up a little bit, but the cost of being a functioning human being went vertical. You are running on a treadmill that is moving twice as fast as your legs can carry you. That is the first reason you feel broke. Your money is melting. The silent partner, taxes. Now let's talk about the silent partner in your business. The IRS. When you cross that 6-figure mark, you feel successful, but you also walk right into the kill zone of the progressive tax system. If you live in a place like New York, California, or any major economic hub, which you probably do because that's where the high-paying jobs are, your take-home pay is getting slaughtered. Federal tax, state tax, FICA, Medicare. On a $100,000 salary, your monthly gross is about $8,300. But after Uncle Sam takes his cut, and you pay for your health insurance and your 401k contribution, what actually hits your checking account? Maybe $5,800? $5,800 sounds okay until you look at rent. The rule of thumb used to be, don't spend more than 30% of your income on housing. In most major cities, the average 1-bedroom apartment is pushing $2,500 to $3,000. Do the math with me. $5,800 minus $2,800 for rent. You have $3,000 left. Now throw in a student loan payment. Average is $400. Car payment. Average is now over $700. Car insurance. Utilities, internet, phone. Before you have bought a single grocery item, eaten a single meal out, or put a dime into your brokerage account, you might have $1,000 left for the entire month. That is $33 a day. That is why you feel broke. Because mathematically, you have the disposable income of a teenager, even though you have the salary of a customized professional. This is what we call liquidity constrained. You are one bad month, one layoff, or one medical emergency away from disaster. The asset disconnect, the Wall Street angle. Here is the deepest cut. This is the one that really hurts my generation when we look at yours. This is the macro reason. The bridge between income and wealth has been burned down. Wealth is assets. Wealth is owning things that pay you. Stocks, real estate, businesses. Income is just what you trade your time for. In the last 15 years, asset prices have skyrocketed because interest rates were kept near zero. Cheap money flowed into houses and the S&P 500. If you didn't own assets 10 years ago, you got left behind. Here is the nightmare scenario for the 100,000 earner. You make enough to pay rent, but you don't make enough to save for a down payment. The house prices are rising faster than your savings rate. If a house goes up 10% in a year on a $500,000 home, that's $50,000. Did you save $50,000 in cash this year? No. So the house actually got more expensive relative to your savings, even though you worked like a dog. You are trapped in the rental cycle. You are paying someone else's mortgage. This inability to transition from laborer to owner is the core reason you feel broke. You can feel the treadmill moving under your feet and you know you aren't going anywhere. The Henry psychology. And this is the hard part, so listen closely. It isn't just the economy's fault. I've been on Wall Street for 30 years. I've seen guys making $500,000 a year go bankrupt, and I've seen janitors retire as millionaires. The third reason you feel broke is something we call the Henry trap. High earner, not rich yet. This is psychological. When you start making six figures, you feel like you deserve a reward. You worked hard for that degree. You grinded for that promotion. So you upgrade. You don't get the Toyota, you get the Lexus. You don't live in the B-class apartment complex. You move to the luxury building with the gym you never use. You stop cooking chicken and rice and start ordering Uber Eats 4 times a week because your time is valuable. This is called the hedonic treadmill. As your income rises, your expectations rise in lockstep. You are running faster, but you aren't moving an inch. I see this constantly. People scale their lifestyle to their gross income, not their net income. They think, I make $100,000, I can afford this. No, you don't make $100,000. You make $5,800 a month. If your car payment is $800, you are putting nearly 15% of your life energy into a piece of metal that goes down in value every single day. That is financial suicide. Declare financial war. All right, take a breath. I know that was heavy, but I didn't tell you all that to depress you. I told you that so you can stop blaming yourself for being bad with money. The game is rigorous, but now, how do we flip the board? How do you stop feeling broke? You have to make a radical shift. You have to stop acting rich to become rich. Step 1. Audit the big 3. Stop worrying about the $5 latte. The latte isn't why you're broke. It's the car, the house, and the debt. If you are driving a car that costs more than 10% of your gross income, sell it. Get a beater. If you are living alone in a luxury apartment, get a roommate or move 10 minutes further out. You need to free up $1,000 a month. That is your freedom capital. Step 2. Attack the high-interest debt. If you have credit card debt, you are in a financial emergency. I don't care if you earn $100,000. If you have a balance at 24% APR, you are broke. Kill that debt with the fury of 1,000 suns. Eat rice and beans until it is gone. Step 3. The gap strategy. The only thing that matters is the gap between your income and your expenses. That gap is your wealth. You need to automate your investing. You need to buy assets, S&P 500 index funds, real estate, Bitcoin, whatever fits your risk profile. But you need to buy them before you pay for your lifestyle. Pay yourself first. If the money hits your checking account, you will spend it. Have it pulled automatically. If you never see it, you won't miss it. 1330 to 1430. The parable. Guy A versus Guy B. Let me leave you with a story. Back in 2008, I knew 2 VPs, same salary. Guy A lived in the penthouse, leased the BMW, and ate steak every Friday. He looked like $1 million. Guy B lived in a duplex, drove a 5-year-old Ford, and packed his lunch. When the market crashed and layoffs hit, Guy A panicked. He lost the apartment, lost the car, and his marriage crumbled under the stress. He was a slave to his paycheck. Guy B? He had 2 years of cash and a portfolio of stocks he bought cheap. He took a 6-month vacation with his kids. Guy A was rich in appearance. Guy B was rich in reality. Which one do you want to be? The $100,000 salary is not a finish line. It is a tool. It is a shovel. You can use that shovel to dig yourself into a hole of debt, or you can use it to build a foundation of freedom. The system wants you to be a high-paid consumer. I want you to be a wealthy owner. The choice is yours.